And we are back on the Steve Malzberg Show, and joining us right now is our good friend, John Fund, a national affairs columnist for National Review Online, Newsmax contributor, and so much more. Hello, John. How are you?
Pleasure, Steve.
Always good to see you. All right, there's so much good stuff to get to. First, let's talk about a piece that you wrote at National Review talking about Wendy Davis. Now, Wendy Davis, of course, is the woman who filibustered the Texas abortion bill in the state legislature. Now she's running for. It was an unsuccessful filibuster as it was, but she's going to run for governor. She's running for governor. A Democrat running for governor in Texas, and of course we've had her opponent on, the Attorney General of the state of Texas, who swears she never will win. But that aside, it appears that she has a credibility problem when it comes to...
I compared her filibuster, which was to stop any regulation of late-term abortions after 20 weeks, which there's a big consensus in this country against that, versus Ted Cruz's filibuster just a couple of months later against Obamacare, which is also very unpopular. So you'd think that the answer is no, there wasn't. Ted Cruz went through the ringer. We learned he was born in Canada. He stood and they talked to anonymous roommates and friends of his and reported that he once wore a paisley bathrobe. I mean, it was absurd, the level of detail to insult and mock him. Whereas you go to Wendy Davis, the heroic Democratic state senator trying to stop an abortion bill, it's all about her rags to fame, riches, and riches story from being a single mom in a trailer park. But the story didn't hold up, even though there's been 7 or 8 months passed since the filibuster.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you're so right about the double standard, the way the two filibusters were covered. It was night and day. She was made into this heroine by the media, and Ted Cruz, of course, they dubbed the most hated man in America. So you're absolutely right. But, I have this problem with people who, embellish their resumes. And, of course, if Ted Cruz or anybody on the right had even a small, as this really was, I mean, the basic narrative remains the same, but there were small inaccuracies and enhancements.
I think they're more than small. I mean, she testified under oath that her divorce was at age 19. It
21.
Turns out it was 21.
Right.
She kept saying, I lived in a trailer park. She briefly stayed in one and then moved to an apartment. It was very brief. She claims that she worked her way through Harvard Law School. Actually, her husband cashed in his 401k, paid for all of her bills at Harvard, and she left him the day after the last loan payment was repaid.
Yeah.
And, there are other things like that, including the fact that, she... And again, in the world of modern feminism, you don't want to say this, but, she should be asked questions about these things because it shows a very ambitious woman, which is fine, but, why didn't we learn about this before?
Yeah, good question. And and I could point to other Democrats where when you have
Elizabeth Warren, who tried to get affirmative action benefits as an American Indian,
right,
when she's blonde-haired and blue-eyed.
Right, or the senator from Connecticut who said that he fought in Vietnam when he was running for the Senate, and then he had to take it back. He never fought in Vietnam. Or even Bill Richardson, who had said on his resume for years that he was drafted by a Major League Baseball team. I often tell people I was drafted by a Major League Baseball team because I can't remember I wasn't. So there's a history there. But let's talk about something else, and this is a priceless story. Also at National Review Online, appearing today by you, John Fund, and you talk about Oregon and Obamacare and what a disaster that is.
Well, Oregon is important for the following reason, Steve. It is the most liberal state in the country when it comes to health care. They've had progressive reforms there for decades, and you'd think they'd know what to do with it, but in reality, no. They launched this website called Cover Oregon. Cover Oregon was supposed to be the state-of-the-art website. They were so proud of it, they didn't have anything to do with the Obama federal website. And what happened? Well, it not only like the other website in Washington, it crashed, but it stayed crashed. To this day, which is now 4 months into this, it has signed up 23,000 people in the whole state, and we don't even know how many of those have paid their premiums, so it could be a much lower figure. And the background story of this, which was reported in the Oregonian paper in Portland, Oregon, this past weekend, is just a horrendous example of, well, one blank up after another.
And they're going to decide now whether or not to pull the plug on the website, correct?
It is so badly designed, so insecure in terms of hacking and other potential problems, they may, on April 1st, literally pull the plug and sign up with the federal website, which has its own problems.
Oh, my goodness. It is just a disaster, and it gets worse and worse and worse. John, always great to see you, my friend. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, folks. Yeah, two great pieces by John Fund at National Review Online. Check them out at www.nationalreview.com, and also, of course, Newsmax contributor John Fund. It is insane, and I just love to. I mean, every week you hear another Democrat say, "Oh, well, of course we're going to run on Obamacare. Oh, yes. Oh, you know, the donut hole was closed, and keep your kids on their." Just wait till the 85 million people lose their insurance this year, at the end of this year, right around election time. They get the notices in the mail. What do you think is going to happen? I mean, this is an opportunity for Republicans to just make gains by leaps and bounds if they don't mess it up. And that's kind of asking a lot. We are talking about the Republican leadership after all. All right, folks, so we will come back. Great show. John Fund, great guest. Right here. You know where it is. 3 to 6 every day, Monday through Friday, Eastern Time, Newsmax TV and radio.
The Steve Malzberg Show.